So I do want to bring my first guest down here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, Jim Neesen. He's an IPO analyst and managing partner at Connor Group. Jim, you can join us. Great to have you here at the Stock Exchange today, and a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Let's start with the IPOs this week.
Absolutely. So, Kristen, this was one of the most anticipated IPO weeks in years, right? We had 5 big IPOs, really headlined by Klarna and Via. And I think the themes that we saw is, number one, all oversubscribed, all of them trading above sort of their initial price. And there was just a lot of buzz. The retail investors, they were at the party, but they also had the VIP bands on. So a lot of things to be really excited about this week.
You mentioned one of the most anticipated weeks in years.
Yes.
What does that tell you about the state of the market?
You know, I think big IPOs are back, right? These are companies that have been sort of in the gym, and they've been working out for a while. The timing was ideal. You mentioned that the market's at all-time highs, right? You have an economy that's sort of really driving as well. Tariff dust is settled, but companies, they're really ready to not only go out and transact, but actually operate as public companies. A lot of excitement going into close out 25 and into 26.
Okay, so let's talk about what is in the pipeline and what we can expect, Jim, through year end.
Yeah, so I think through year end, you're going to see a lot of companies. You'll still see those large cap companies. I think those are the ones that the bankers have been sort of looking at. I call those the cream of the crop, but I actually see a lot of other industries outside of the crypto, the AI, sort of the IT security space. You're going to have B2B, B2C, you're going to have health tech as well, and you're going to have other companies in broad industries that have been really preparing for 12 to 18 months. Now they're going to really be testing the waters in the market.
And of course, you mentioned the market at record highs. How does that factor into a company's decision to tap the markets?
You know, I think a lot of companies, you can't always time the market. So sometimes it's a little bit coincidental, but you want to have everything there, right? You want to be on file. You want to have sort of those discussions with the bankers, the institutional investors, and you want the retail investors to be really sort of engaged in this story. I think there's a lot of work that you can do ahead of time, but I think the market's really sort of, that's that harbinger into next year as we got a lot of wind going on. 3 Fed rate decreases coming up as well. I think it's going to really play well for the markets ahead.
That definitely is the expectation. Of course, Connor Group advising companies on their IPO journey. What are you hearing from clients now?
Yeah, I think for a lot of companies, it's let's make sure that we have that foundation in place. Let's make sure that we really understand our revenue, our earnings, and be able to sort of give estimates to the market that we can sort of beat and raise. That's a really big part of the story. Don't miss your first quarter, your second quarter, but this is a long-term journey. Make sure that you really can sort of go out into the markets and really sort of make your investors happy and make this for sort of that longer-term period.
What are the other trends that you're seeing right now, Jim, when it comes to IPOs?
You know, I think in terms of trends, I would say number one, it's a lot more broad-based in terms of the markets that are out there. I think also it's not going to just be large cap. You'll see a lot of mid-cap and small-cap companies. I think you'll start seeing some more biotech, right? We had a biotech go out this week. That was an amazing thing as well. I think also companies, they're not just looking to lean into private markets and get the runway through VC and private equity. Let's actually bring the story out into the public markets. We've had 243 IPOs this year, right? I think we're 85% of where we were at this exact time last year. Best IPO market in over 4 years. We're going to see that trend continue.
What can an IPO do for a company?
You know, the press is always about it's raising cash, right? It's sort of a currency that you can do M&A transactions, but it's really a branding event. It's a way to show your customers in the marketplace we're strong, right? We're really stable, but we're going to look to expand. We're going to sort of move into international markets as well. We are sort of the top, you know, the math is like 0.001% of companies that are actually founded ever go public. So you're in rarefied air when you do your IPO, but that signals strength to both your customers as well as your investors.
Jim Neesen with the Connor Group. He's an IPO analyst and managing partner. Jim, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Kristen. Appreciate it.